Hey guys, Harry here from the Art Gear Guide. Thanks very much for joining me today. So as you can see here, I've got a review of the Uni Posca Colored Pencils. Now, I am sure all of you are aware of the Posca Pens that are on the market. They are excellent. They are really uh, nice and opaque. Come in a really vast array of colours now. When they first came out, a lot of people just used the white one for their colour pencil art whenever they were doing like highlights, that type of thing. They come in various different nib sizes. Really good. A really excellent art product. Uni, the kind of like the Mitsubishi range, and in the Posca arena, they have brought out colored pencils, and they also have like a pastel pencil thing as well, which I might get round to reviewing someday, but I don't have it right now. But I've been, a lot of people have been asking me to review these pencils, and I was fortunate enough that Posca reached out to me. I think it was just before Christmas, and sent these out to us to review. Finally got round to doing them. Now, the reason why I'd never gone out and bought them was because of the price of them. They come in, the biggest set that they come in is a 36 set. It's kind of like a nice little dinky size box, but it's a 36 set. Now that 36 set was going for like £96 in some stores a little bit cheaper. As I seen in the US, like sometimes 36 set was going for 117, and I just thought there's no way, especially given the information that I was given about them. But anyway, so I ended up getting them. Now, like I said, the biggest set that they come in is a 36 set, but Posca or Mitsubishi sent these cardboard sets out to us. So there's 3 sets of 6 here and a set of 12. Now, some of them are duplicated, and I'll get into that in a minute, but as you can see from the images here, if you were to go into a store and you look at these boxes here, you can see that on the actual box there's nothing telling you the colours that's inside them. The only way that you can see the colours inside them is the flash, the pigment identifier on the end of the barrel, which I'll talk about the pencils in a second. But I think that it's a difficult thing to, if you're going in and you're buying a set of these, to know for certain that you haven't already got those colours, because there's nothing telling you on the box exactly what colour is inside. You've got to wait until you get into the box and get the pencils out before you know exactly what colour you have. There's no difference in the boxes. Now, like I said, the 36 set comes in a tin. It's a 3-tier layer of colored pencils, and obviously if you get the 36 set, you've got the full range. And then if you wanted to get more, to the best of my knowledge, I haven't found anywhere that does them open stock. So if you wanted to get more, you would have to maybe go out and buy these smaller sets, these 6-box sets or these 12-box sets. The full range of sets will be over on the written review if you want to go across and see it. But let's take a look at the pencil. So it's a really nice chunky pencil. As you can see here, it's a 3.8mm core, and it's an 8mm barrel. The barrel is round. The pencils really look nice. Okay, so they've got this really nice dark black barrel. On the end here, they've got the Uni Posca pencil logo, which looks really nice set against the black background. On the very end here, you have the pigment identifier flash. Like I say, the core is 3.8. The pencils themselves sharpen really nice. I had no issues with the sharpening of these pencils. On the opposite side of the pencil, it just says here Mitsubishi Pencil Company Limited. Again, very easy to read. The white print on the black background. Then right down at the very bottom of the pencil, we have this barcode, a sticker, and it's on there that the pigment name is printed. It's not actually printed on the barrel. So, and these stickers are right down at the bottom. So when you start sharpening, you're going to sharpen into it. So the best thing, if you get them, the best thing to do is to make your swatch, write down the color name, and there is a number there as well, and that'll help you correspond exactly what colors you're using. On the very end of the pencil here, in the very end of the barrel, you can see that there is a number which will obviously help you correspond to the swatch that you make in terms of writing down the pigment names. I did a swatch, and as you can see here, so I've done set A, set B, and set C, because, and that's the way I've named it, because none of, like I say, none of these sets distinguish themselves. There's no distinguishing features about them. They're all exactly the same, other than the fact the 12 one says 12 colors and the 6 ones say 6 colors. Even on the back, there's nothing distinguishing the individual boxes. And if you go into a store as well, you're not going to be able to open these sets because they're really quite difficult to get into, and when you open them, you're going to destroy the box. So you're not going to be able to do that. And like I say, when they're in the actual box, you've got these little windows here at the front, but the only way of knowing the color name is by this little barcode, but that barcode isn't displayed. You can't see it when they're in these boxes. So like I say, I've created these set sizes, or sorry, set A, set B, set C, and then this is the 12 set. So these are the 3/6 sets, and as you can see here, this is the colors that come in the 6 sets. I wish I had the full set of 36. I might have been able to do something more with them, but I didn't. So as you can see here, I've written down the color name and then the color number, which is on the end of the pencil. So when I'm going forward, I can see exactly what color. When I take this sticker off and the color name is no longer on the pencil, then I'll be able to, you know, just correspond it with my swatch, given the number on the end. But if you look at these sets, even these 6 sets, there doesn't seem to be a lot of rhyme or reason. You know, like with these 6 sets, maybe like the sets of a set of pinks and reds. Maybe the set B, they could have done like oranges, vermilions, and yellows, whatever. So it looks a little bit hit and miss to me. The 12 set, again, I mean, like, I'll have a swatch, so to speak. I'll have a full range of the 36 colors. You can go across onto the written website and you'll be able to, the written review, and you'll be able to see the full accompanied you'll be able to go across and see the full range of 36 colors. But now, bearing in mind that they are digital, so the swatch that they have on their website is a digital swatch, and it's a little bit, if you look at the Prussian Blue on their website, it looks very different from the Prussian Blue that I've put down on here. Now, I've done this swatch on Bristol Vellum paper, so it's relatively smooth paper. But as you can see here, the colors are really bright and vibrant. And I guess, you know, keeping in line with the Posca theme, that's what they've been going for here, to coincide with their Posca pens, because they are bright and vibrant colors. The pencils, again, you know, they fall in line with that. But as you can see here, because Posca sent out these different sets, I've got a lot of duplicates here. You know, I've got the 2 of these reds, 2 oranges, 2 light pinks, obviously 2 black and white, 2 brown. So with all of that, I didn't really have a wide range of colors to do any artwork with. I would have liked to have done something along the lines of like a botanical piece, but as you can see here, I didn't have enough greens really or browns to do anything significant with. I was going to do a sunflower, but I only had one yellow, and I thought, you know, the size that I drew the sunflower, I thought I'm gonna end up running out of this yellow halfway through it, or with a few petals left on the sunflower. So I left it at that, and I did do some artwork with it, but I'll show you that in a second. So as you can see here, this is the layer test, and I've done this on the a small pad of watercolor paper, hot pressed watercolor paper. So it's a little bit textured. It's not overly textured, but you can see here that in terms of layering, they layered okay. I didn't have any issues. There was no stickiness or tackiness or anything like that. And with the heavy application here, this is where you can see where the pencils really come into their own, because they are really bright and vibrant. Next up is the blending test. And again, you can see here that they blended really, really well. There was no issues in terms of their blending. And when I was working on these little sample tests here, their coverage was okay as well. I didn't have any issues with the coverage, but I did start to experience issues with coverage when I started doing the artwork that I did, but I'll get to that in a second. But you can see here, you can clearly see here that with the red and the yellow, there's a really nice orange. The blue and the yellow, again, there's a really nice green, and with the red and the blue here, you get a nice purpley color. Down at the bottom here, I've just done this circle, sphere, whatever you want to call it, and I'm going to show you this now using odorless mineral spirits. Again, this test will just show you how well the pigment breaks down with odorless mineral spirits. Now, odorless mineral spirits is not something I typically use in my work, but I know that a lot of people use it, and so I like to include this test in here. So you'll be able to, again, go across to the written review. You'll be able to see a before and after photograph or image of this sphere before the odorless mineral spirits is added onto it. And I'm just using some Zested, which is an odorless mineral spirits that you can get over here. So I'm just going to work I'll just work from the dark to the light. Let me just zoom in a little bit here so you can see it. Now, as I always say, with things like this odorless mineral spirits, one of the biggest advantages of using odorless mineral spirits, in my opinion, is when you apply your odorless mineral spirits to any colored pencil, and you can see here that it's breaking down the pigment quite nicely. What that does is it fills in the tooth of the paper, so you can see a lot of white here because I haven't pressed down heavily on it or anything like that. These are light layers that I've applied to get this hopefully 3D effect. But as you can see here, when you apply the odorless mineral spirits to it, those white parts of the paper are filled in. And what that does is it kind of like, once it dries, it gives you the ability to come back in and add more layers. And in doing that, the odorless mineral spirits doesn't damage the tooth of the paper. It keeps that tooth of the paper alive for as long as possible. Whereas the way I normally do, if I were coming in and doing this, I would burnish it, and so that means that I would use either a lighter pencil or just an ordinary pencil burnisher, which is just a color pencil without any pigment in it. And what that does is it does damage the tooth of the paper, and you can still come back in and apply a few layers, but not as effectively as you can with odorless mineral spirits. But for me personally, I guess the way I look at, and again, this is just a personal thing. I'm not saying anything bad about anybody that uses odorless mineral spirits. The way I just look at this is, the reason I like doing colored pencil is because it's colored pencil. When I want to paint, I'll paint. And essentially, when you start using odorless mineral spirits, you're breaking the pigment down into a paint, really. And so that's just my interpretation of it, and that's the reason why I don't like using it. If I'm going to do just an all colored pencil piece, I would try to stay away from odorless mineral spirits. But again, that is just purely my own choice. I see a lot of people using odorless mineral spirits, and the effects that they get are fantastic. So there you go. You can see there that the Posca Colored Pencils, the light layers that were applied there, they break down really nicely under the odorless mineral spirits. So that test was really good, actually. Sometimes pencils just don't break down very well under odorless mineral spirits, and other times they react better. Okay, so the next test up here is on black paper, and as you can see here, now this test doesn't really say whether the pencil is good or bad or anything like that. Just some artists prefer to, or would, want to be able to use their pencils on dark paper like tone tan, tone grey, or black paper. And if you're going to do that, sometimes colour pencil artists like their pencils to be nice and thick and opaque, which is what these Posca pencils are. You can clearly see here that they are really opaque. Sometimes, like with the Faber-Castell Polychromos pencils, they're quite a translucent pencil, and what that means is when you apply a couple of layers of the pencil over the black paper, the black paper is going to mute the colour a little bit, and so you're still going to be able to see the black paper through underneath the pencil. And for some artists, they want to get that, that's the effect they're happy to achieve. For other artists, they want this nice thick opaque color, and if that's what you're looking for, then the Posca color pencils are fantastic for this particular technique. So as you can see here, this is the artwork that I did using the pencils. Now, I started off doing this artwork on, I had a pad of Derwent Lightfast paper, and it was obviously the Derwent Lightfast paper works. I think it's one of the best papers on the market. Works really, really well. But for some reason, these pencils, it just wasn't working for me at all. And I tried to draw this. This is just a Star Wars character. And the reason I chose this was because I had 4 different reds, including a reddish orange. It is orange, but it's closer to red. So I thought, because I had at least 4 of those red shades, that I would be able to get away with doing something like this. And I had the light pink as well, which helped me out a little bit, and obviously the black pencil. And that was the reason why I chose this particular subject to draw. But like I say, when I was using the Derwent Lightfast paper, for some reason I just couldn't get a really nice smooth finish when I was burnishing and I was putting heavy application down of the colour. So then I went over to the Strathmore 300 series Bristol Vellum paper, and again it was easier to get that smooth look that I wanted. But although the core of the Posca pencil it's quite a hard core, but it lays down. It's really difficult to. It's actually really difficult to explain. So it holds its point really well, incredibly well actually. when you are working with the Posca pencil, and if you were watching somebody else and you were watching how long the point maintained its form, you would think that it's a really hard cored pencil. But when you start using it, there is, if I were to say anything about the ingredient in it, I would say it's probably more like a really hard wax that they've used in there, which gives it that feel of an oil-based pencil. But you can tell that there's quite a lot of wax in the ingredient as well. It was a really difficult pencil to review, actually, to try and put down in words this pencil, the way it performed. I didn't really take to this pencil very well, and I tried. Like I say, I started off doing the sunflower, and I started that off with on the Derwent Lightfast paper. I got a little bit through it, and I knew that I was going to end up running out of colour. So I went to this, and again I did this on a Lightfast paper, on the Derwent Lightfast paper, and I just couldn't get the smooth surface that I wanted. And so I've tried it then on the Bristol's Vellum paper. So I have really tried hard to get this pencil for me to take to this pencil, but I just couldn't. And I'm not too sure. I can't pinpoint exactly what it is. I just didn't get the smooth when I was burnishing. I just didn't get that smooth coverage that I can get with other pencils. Now, I do think maybe I was rushing this a little bit, and so therefore maybe if I had been able to work with the layers a little bit more and took my time with it, I might have got a smoother finish. But I was, I am trying to get as many reviews done. I've got a lot of backlog on reviews here, which I need to get done and get them out. So I was conscious of that, and so I did rush it a little bit. But again, I'll have a speed drawing of this over on the on this YouTube channel, and I'll also have some still images of this artwork from start to finish over on the Art Gear Guide, where you can click on the images, enlarge them, and then inspect them at your own in your own time. And you can zoom in and you can get to see what I'm talking about in terms of the coverage. From a distance it looks fine, but when you get up close to it, you'll see what I mean. Okay, so the Uni Posca Colored Pencils are, like I say, over in the written review, I'll have prices and what have you. The prices fluctuate such a lot from store to store. Obviously, the links that I'm providing are from Amazon. For me, that's just easier to provide Amazon links because I'm trying to provide as many links as I can for different places around the world, like Europe, America, and Canada and Australia if I can as well, and obviously here in the UK also. But when I had a look about, when I was researching this pencil and what have you, and I was having a look about, some stores are selling the 36 set for like £45, and then other places are selling it for £96, like I said. So, and if you see them at £96, I would definitely say that is not a good deal at all. I would even say at £45 there are definitely better alternatives out there, and but that's a decision that you need to make. Shop about. If you want to get these pencils, definitely shop about. You might find a good deal, because they've been out for quite a while now, and I think right at the very beginning, when people first started reviewing them and people first started using them, people weren't really happy with the prices that they were being set at. So I think Mitsubishi or Uni, whoever, have brought them down a little bit, but I don't think that the prices still reflect the type of pencil that you get. In terms of Lightfast information, I couldn't find anything about their Lightfast values or anything like that, so I'm going to take it that they're not Lightfast pencils. It says artist pencils. In my opinion, they're not artist pencils, because the the light fast information is not prominent. If you've got to go digging and you've got to go into the deep realms of the internet to find out what the light fast information is on a product, then you can, in my opinion, there's something not right there. When a company uses the ASTM or the Blue Wool light fast value, that company goes to great lengths to have their product rated under that system. And when they do it, and a lot of the time, especially with the ASTM, there's a lot of money. It costs the company a lot of money to have their product rated under the ASTM. And so when they get it, they're proud of it. It's like an accolade. They want to show you that their product is light fast, it's artist quality, and therefore you can go ahead and use it and be confident that the artwork that you're going to sell is light fast. But when you've got to start digging around and you know it's not on their website, it's not easy to find on their website, or you know you've got to go somewhere else, or somebody's done a test of it on their windowsill or something like that, just my personal opinion is they're not light fast, and they're certainly not light fast to ASTM or Blue Wool. And if they're neither of those two, then just be careful what you're going to be using them for. In terms of adult colouring books, these pencils would work really nicely in adult colouring books because as you can see here with the smooth paper, they are still very bright and vibrant, and I know that with a lot of adult colouring book artists, they like the brighter, vibrant coloured pencils. But in terms of doing artwork that you want to commission or sell or send into a gallery or something like that, I wouldn't use these, despite the fact it does say artist pencils on here. And that's just my opinion. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching this review. I do have a really boring review coming up. It's about erasers. But the reason why I did it was because I've seen lots of different types of erasers on the market. I wanted to know what they were specifically for. I couldn't find any videos, and so I decided that I would make a video myself, and I decided that I would try these erasers and see if they do what the manufacturer says they do, if they perform exactly how the manufacturers say they're going to perform. So I am warning you and pre-warning you, it is a pretty boring review. I just test different erasers on different mediums and show you the results. If it's not something you're interested in, then don't worry about it, just skip on past it. But if you've seen erasers and you're looking to get a good eraser for your artwork, whether you're doing graphite or charcoal or anything like that, it might be something that you want to watch. Anyway, guys, thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you all again very, very soon. Bye.